In this video, we're going to learn how to make a pie chart in Microsoft Excel. So I have an Excel sheet open now, and you also have one for your assignment, and you'll notice there are 4 tabs along the bottom. So the first set of data is for pie chart, line graph, bar graph, and histogram. And you'll see these in yours as well, but you'll have different data. So let's go to pie chart. Okay, so here's the category food, housing, telephone service, and this is representing, I have a title ready down here, spending patterns in 2016 of Generation X, and that's people born between 1965 and 1980. Okay, and here I have this labeled Generation X. You're going to do the pie chart for millennials, and these are the different percentage values for each of these different categories. So I want to make a pie chart. So the first thing we're going to do is click on the left uppermost value, okay, and then hold down your click and drag until you have all of the data highlighted. Okay, then you're going to go up here, click Insert, okay, and all the data charts are up here. Okay, we want a pie chart. But I always start with just recommended charts because they usually have the type I want available there. I just like to get a look at all the different ones. Okay, and then I don't have to remember which one to click. So the second one is the pie chart. Okay, and then I'm going to click OK. Okay, so here's our chart. You're always going to want to clean it up and make it a little bit nicer. I'm going to make this bigger. If you go to the corner and you click and drag, you can make it bigger. Okay. Notice the features down here. This is the legend. It labels each of them. So food is this color blue, which I think is this one up here. We're going to add labels in there as well. Okay, so let's start by adding labels. So click anywhere in here. And I actually want to, let's take this opportunity for me to show you something. Lots of times in Excel, and this even happens to me, you click and drag something wrong by accident, all of a sudden your chart moves and you want to undo it. Okay, you can try to move it back, but it doesn't always go back to the center. Okay, there's also something weird that you could do here. All of a sudden all the pie is in pieces. Okay, so this is my favorite button in Excel. Up here it says undo. Okay, I think that will, now we're back to our normal graph. So you don't have to start all over. If you can very easily drag things in a place you don't want them, just click the undo button. Okay, so now I want to add data labels. So I'm going to right click, okay, and you have to hold it down for a second. Here's add data labels, and I'm actually going to use callouts. We'll use just regular labels on a later graph. Okay, and notice what it did is it labeled all of these. It has the label and the corresponding percentage. Okay, notice these are overlapping a little bit, so you can click and drag these to make them nicer. Okay, so I'm going to click and drag. Again, sometimes these take a while or they don't drag for a second. I don't know why. Oh, those ones look good. I like to drag them away a little bit so you can see it's actually pointing instead of just next to. Let's try this one again. Okay, so now the gray is telephone services. I really want to clean up this bottom part. Let's move this up just a little bit. Okay, so I don't want a parallel services overlapping with the bottom legend. Okay, so this looks pretty good. Okay, and you can adjust it more if you'd like. Okay, now notice I had the decimals to 1 decimal place, and here they're rounded to the nearest whole decimal. So I want to fix that because I want these exact values. So I'm going to go to a data label, right click. Okay, you see how right now it has that 4 directional thing? That's what you need it to have before this will show up, and sometimes you have to hold it down for a second. So here's format data label. Okay, right now I have it on percentage, which seems like it would be good, except that I have this set up as a percentage, and that's why it's not showing me the decimal. So I'm going to change it to value and unclick percentage. Okay. Oh, and it looks like it just did that 1. Okay. So let me click on the whole chart and now click 1. Okay. So now see how, and I'm glad this is happening because this even happens to me every time. Okay. Where It's just a little bit quirky. That was focusing just on this one label call out instead of all of them. But now notice all of them are highlighted, and I didn't notice the first time. So now I'm going to right click again, go to Format Data Labels, and change them all from percentage to value. Okay, so now we have one decimal place for each. Okay. So in general, you'll want to make sure your title explains the data well. Okay, so right now, Generation X 1965 to 1980, that doesn't really tell me everything that I want. The original data, which is sourced in your media lesson packet, says that it's spending patterns in 2016, so that's when the data were collected, for Generation X 1965 to 1980. Okay, and you're going to make the same graph for millennials. Okay, so I put this here. You can type this right in. I'm going to copy this, so I'm going to highlight, right click, copy. Now I'm going to click here, highlight over this, and I'm pretty sure if I right click now, it doesn't let me paste. Don't know why, but for a lot of these you have to use the paste, cut, and copy up here. So I'm going to go to paste up here. Okay, and now I have my whole title in there. Okay, your title isn't in there, you're going to have to type it in, but if you want to copy and paste this from somewhere in the media lesson packet, you can do that. I kind of want this part on the second line because that tells me the specific subpopulation we're looking at. Okay, now I like the way that looks. Okay. One last thing that I always do, this is your option, but notice these are a little bit gray. They actually don't use the darkest font. I don't know why. Okay, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to click on the title, and up here I'm going to click on the top black value. I think it uses one of these. Okay, I like the darkest one, and I also click bold. I just really want to be able to see these labels well. This is up to you. Now I'm going to do these data labels. I'm going to click on one. Notice they all highlighted that time. Do black and bold, and on the bottom I click on this area, black and bold, and now these are all a little bit more legible. Okay, there's lots of options that you have with these. If you go to design, there are all different sorts of charts you could have. Notice all of our labels moved. Okay, some of them are fun and cool, but in general, make it as simple as possible. Be careful with these dark ones. If you're printing this, it's not really helpful. If you have this in a PowerPoint, that might be okay. I'm going to go back to the original. Oh, where'd my original go? Oh, let's try the undo button. Oh, it's going to make me go back. Like, there we go. Okay, so it was the first one there. Okay. And now let's show you how to paste this into a Word document. So for all of your graphs at the end, you're going to copy it into Excel, copy it from Excel, and paste it into a Word document. So notice when I hover here, it says chart area. Here it's on the pie. You want to make sure you're on the chart area. You right click. Okay. And that says copy here. That's weird. I just want to copy. There we go. Okay. So I right clicked, copied, and now I'm going to go to a Word document, right click, and paste. And now my chart is in Word. Okay. Notice these are compatible, so you could actually edit things here if you wanted to, change the font and other things. Okay. So we're going to put all the charts in here over the next 4 videos, and then I'll show you how to save it as a PDF. Oops, I'm noticing right now there are 2 parentheses there. So I'm going to click in the chart title, and even though it's in Word, I can take out that extra parenthesis.